Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Becca Holmes. Today's class we're doing yoga for back pain for third trimester, and that is no fun, so let's just get right into it. All right, let's start in a comfortable seated posture. So find whatever's gonna work for you today. I'm lifted up on my bolster with a modified kind of sukhasana here. So you can do this. You can also do hero's pose, find a block. Maybe you're just on your blanket, on your mat, whatever feels good. So once you're there, let's get our posture set up, right? So that's gonna definitely help with the back pain, whether it's upper or lower back, or middle, or all of it. So make sure your pelvis is neutral so that we're not overextending the low back, right? The belly wants to come forward. We've got some extra weight here, but we don't wanna over tuck it either. So let's find that neutral position. Shoulders come up and back. Rest the palms down on the lap. And let's take a minute to get centered and bring our breath into the practice. So start with some easy breathing in and out through the nose. And then while you're taking those breaths to get you centered into your practice, I want you to consider the spiritual and emotional side of this. So yes, we are doing kind of asana focused practice today, specifically for back pain, but also think about when you don't have extra weight on the front weighing on your back, what weight do you have emotionally and mentally in pregnancy that you're also carrying with you, right? So I'm sure if you're anything like me, there's so much to do, right? There's get the nursery ready, all the baby appointments, all of the things you have to do to prepare for labor. You know, there's these checklists. And then there's the emotional weight of I'm bringing a new life into this world, and just that weight of being a parent, you know? So what else could be weighing on that back pain that's not just physical? And so maybe just consider that as you're sitting here breathing, and maybe you can invite in a little grace and a little peace for all of those things. And as we move through this class, maybe you can let some of those things go that are weighing on you a little bit, just for today. Just for today. Inhale a little grace. Exhale, release some of that extra weight. Okay, let's start at the top and nice and easy. So we're just gonna do some shoulder scrunches. So I want you to bring the shoulders nice and tight into the ears. Normally we don't wanna do this in yoga, right? But we're gonna bring that and then completely relax and release. So when you inhale, let's scrunch. Exhale, relax, release. Let the hands go wherever they do to completely relax the shoulders. 3 more times. Inhale, scrunch the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, relax, release. Again. Last one, inhale, scrunch. And release. Now let's just do some shoulder rolls. So as we inhale, the shoulders come up to the ears. Exhale, they roll back. Shoulder blades squeeze together. And let the arms just kind of relax. The hands go wherever they go. And when you've done maybe 10 in that direction, let's just switch. So we're gonna do the shoulders forward. That always feels a little weirder to me. Not quite as natural of a movement, but it does feel good. Keep breathing as you roll. Okay, and then come to neutral, shake it out a little bit if you need to. And then we're going to open the arms up wide. We're gonna open the chest and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So inhale, open the arms up, chest comes up to the sky, gaze goes up. Exhale, we're gonna give ourselves a nice hug, right? And then this kind of can turn into a little bit of a cat-cow movement here as well. So we're getting really stretching into the upper back. Inhale, shoulders are squeezing together. Exhale, switch the arm cross, and then stretching the upper back here. And again, keep that movement going. letting your inhales and exhales follow your movement, switching your arm cross every time. And let's do one more. Make sure you're even on both sides. And then come back to your neutral position. All right, so now we're moving into eagle arms. So inhale the arms open wide, and then we're gonna bring on an exhale, one elbow over the other, and then the arms, you can either have the backs of your hands come together or come all the way around so that you're palm to palm. So take your time getting there, and then check your posture. Make sure your pelvis again is neutral, lifting up through the spine, and then lifting the elbows so that the forearms are parallel with the mat. So you don't want them too low, right? So I'm gonna pull them up, forward, and really feel that deep stretch in the shoulder blades, upper back area. And then go ahead and hold here for 5 deep breaths. With each inhale, we lift, creating more space. With each exhale, we release tension. Three more breaths. And then on an exhale, release, unravel, open up, inhale. Exhale, bring it in and switch. So the other elbow comes over the other. And again, the backs of the hands can come together, or you can loop around, palm to palm. And then 5 breaths here again as you inhale, pulling the forearms and elbows up, forward, and making sure to not push the belly out. So keeping the belly in, neutral pelvis, 5 breaths. Keep this engaged. This one is hard work, right? Using some upper back strength. And then exhale, release, whoo, shake it out a little bit. Inhale, open that up. Exhale, hands come back to the lap. Okay, let's work our way into tabletop. So you can set your bolster to the side. For now, keep it handy. And then our trusty cat-cows, right? So of course, with anything going on with the back, we're gonna always pay attention to the spine. Also, if you're paying attention, I probably just do cat-cow in all my classes because it feels really good. So make sure you're nice and lined up with your arms straight, ankles, or what are these called? Wrists directly under your shoulders. And then you've got your knees under your hips. So let's just start with our basic cat-cow. Inhale, face comes forward, chest comes forward. Exhale, pushing into the mat, completely relaxing the head and neck. Baby comes into the spine. Take a couple of these. Find your own rhythm, find your own pace, and your own level of extension as well. And then when you've done 4 or 5, find a neutral tabletop. And we're going to keep our focus on the upper back for a second. So we're basically going to protract and retract the shoulder blades here. So with our hands firmly planted, you're going to just let the shoulders kind of sink. So again, I'm doing some things that we normally wouldn't do because we want to keep sturdy and stable, but to stretch and strengthen the back, we're going to do these exercises. So go ahead and like relax the chest down and then just push away, kind of rounding again into that angry cat position. But we're really just focusing on that upper spine in between the shoulder blades and really letting it stretch and then contract. So inhale as you're lowering, exhale as you push away. So do this about 10 times, or just as long as it feels good. Okay, and then come back to neutral. And then we're going to come down to our forearms. And then we're going to do the same thing. You might have to adjust your knees out a little further. That's possible. And then again, just using your forearms to push away and then drop. So drop, inhale, and then exhale, pushing away. Just with the shoulders, really focusing on the upper back. And again, we're going to do this one about 10 times, whatever feels good. And then once you've done about 10, come to a neutral position here and pause. Now we're going to completely release the upper back by shifting into a puppy pose. So this, if it's accessible to you, we're going to bring the hands way out in front of us. Forehead comes to the mat. And this should feel like a nice release on the upper back, the shoulders. And if that feels a little too intense, simply bring the elbows back down and just extend them slightly forward with the forehead on the mat. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. Two more breaths. And then lift your head first and then slowly walk your way back so that we are in our tabletop position again. And then from tabletop, we're gonna just sit back into a hero's pose. We're gonna give our ankles, I keep doing that, our wrists a break. Baby brain. Okay, go ahead and grab some blocks. We're gonna have our blocks right behind us if you need to. We're just gonna counter all that work and just sit back for a second and release our psoas from a hero posture. So focus your energy here, and then we're going to start working into our mid and lower back. So lower back pain also is always connected usually to the psoas, I notice, right? So the psoas connects us from the femur all the way up through the pelvis and into our lower back. So if you sit a lot or you're not super active, actually having the legs in this position a lot of the day can cause lower back pain. So we're going to do a slight psoas stretch here. Holding here for 5 breaths. And then when it feels good, go ahead and come out. Set your blocks to the side. And then next we're moving into deer pose. So this is deer pose in yin, right? So just shift your right hips over to the side. Your legs are gonna kick out. So it's kind of like pigeon, right? Our right leg is at about pigeon, so about a 45 degrees, and then resting our calf and our shin on the mat. And then the left leg kicks out beside us, just like this. So let's start with our hips facing forward. We're nice and neutral. Check your posture. And then what we're gonna do is a slight twist. So again, we can't, just twist as much as you can until baby tells you, hey, we don't have any more room here, right? So it might just be a slight twist. But with our hips in this position, I want you to pay attention to any sensation that might be starting in the glutes, and it could be working all the way up to your middle back. So with both hands on the right knee about, with this tall posture, you're just gonna hold here for 5 breaths. Okay, and then come back to the center. And then I want you to go ahead and grab your blocks. And then we're just gonna fold over, straight forward. So this is also a great modified version if you can't get into pigeon pose anymore and you wanna get into your right glute. And then play with your block level. Just see where baby and belly are at today. And then right there feels good for me. So we're gonna hold this posture also for 5 deep breaths. And here, focus on trying to keep that left hip down and then folding straight forward. And just become aware of any sensations that are coming up and breathe through them. Try to breathe through them and let them happen. And then after your 5th breath, go ahead and walk yourself back up. We'll set the blocks to the side again. And then the left leg is going to swing around straight so that we end up in a Janu Shirshasana. Janu Shirshasana. I can say it, I can't say it. So the right sole of the foot's coming into the inner thigh here. And then with our hips square, we're kind of coming in between the legs, yes? So I want you to shift so that your torso is over the extended leg. And then we're just gonna bend forward, just where you can, right? We've got some belly things going on, all kinds of stuff. So go where you can, and you can grab just your calf or your knee, maybe your ankle. If you can still grab your toe, great. You might wanna use a strap. Just find what works for you. And then focus on the right lower back, maybe some sensations in the left glute. Just observe where you're feeling this. 5 breaths. And then after 5, go ahead and slowly come up. And then let's extend both legs out and just kind of shift and adjust, maybe pop the knees a little bit. And then we're gonna do that entire sequence on the other side. So now let's find our deer pose on the other side. Left foot comes in, right foot goes behind us. And then right away, just observe the difference that you feel from one side to the next, because we are not symmetrical, right? So often I feel one side's a little tighter than the other, or who knows. So once you've found this, with the right hip as rooted as possible, mine lifts off the ground and that's fine. We're just gonna shift and slight twist over the left knee, both hands on the knee, and then check your posture, nice and tall, gaze forward, and hold 5 breaths. Okay, and then after 5, again, grab your blocks, shift your torso back to neutral in the middle. And I can already feel my right hip is a lot tighter than my left was. So I'm not gonna be exactly where I was, but I'm shifting to where I can, right? And then that's a little intense, so I'm just gonna come a little bit out to the left. Find your resting posture on your block. Hold here, again, 5 breaths. Noticing any feelings that are happening in maybe the right glute, right hip, also the left glute. And just continue to breathe through those sensations. And then use the palms to walk yourself up after you've taken all 5 breaths. Set your blocks off to the side again. And now, just like the other side, swinging that left leg forward so that you're in a Janu Shirshasana. And then your twist is going to come over that extended leg and then reaching forward for either the feet or the ankles or the calves, and then holding this for five breaths. And then just observing any sensations you feel in the lower back, the hips, and how that's stretching out. And then go ahead and come up and then extend both legs out. And then again, popping your knees. And then we're returning to a tabletop position. So in this tabletop position, we're really coming here for neutrality to just work our way into a downward facing dog if that's serving you today. So if a downward facing dog does not sound good, just stay here in tabletop and maybe you can work a few more of these shoulder crunches, right? Up and down, retracting the shoulder blade, okay? Or go ahead and come into downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up into the air. And then really let's put the focus on our upper back in this downward facing dog. So really pushing into the fingertips, letting the shoulder blades come down the side of the body, stretching the upper back, and then really using the arm strength to push away from the mat and create lots of length in the back. Let the knees bend slightly, heels come towards the mat, and just hold here for about 3 breaths. And then let's find our gaze towards our hands. And then we're going to work our way, feet up to the hands. We're coming to a standing in Tadasana. So you can you can stop here in a forward fold and just kind of lean into it. Forearms on the knees might feel good. And then take your time using your leg strength, one vertebrae at a time, coming up to Tadasana. So once you've reached your Tadasana, let's take a look at our posture again, just making sure that we are fully supporting our back. So make sure that your booty's not out, not overly tucked. We want a nice neutral pelvis. Lift the shoulders and tuck them back. And then we're just gonna do some half sun A's. So you may want your blocks for this. I'm gonna go ahead and use mine today. And really focusing again, everything on the spine and the back. So with this posture, holding steady, let's inhale the arms up. Gaze follows the hands. Exhale, forward fold, letting head and neck relax. Inhale, come to a halfway lift. Let your spine be parallel with the floor. Exhale, find your forward fold again. Inhale, return to standing. Palms up. And exhale, pull that in through the heart center. Let's keep this moving into 2 more half sun A's. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold, finding your blocks. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, bending the knees. Use your legs to bring you up. Exhale, hands into the heart. And last one, inhale the arms up. Exhale, come to the blocks. Completely relax the head here. Inhale, come half lift. Exhale, last fold. And then inhale all the way to rising. Exhale. Now I want to do a similar shoulder crunch that we did in tabletop, but in a half lift. So let's get to the half lift first. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, come to your half lift. So now this is going to look similar to our tabletop, where we're just going to inhale, really extend the half lift, bend your knees as much as you need to. And then as you exhale, pushing away. Again, the focus comes to the upper back. Inhale, gaze and chest come forward. Exhale, pushing away, spreading the shoulder blades, stretching the back. And then inhale up again. So this is just from a different angle, and I can find sometimes getting a little bit of a deeper stretch here. And also it's not as harsh on the wrist as being in tabletop. So depending on how your wrists feel. So continue this movement a few times. And then come to neutral. Find yourself in a forward fold. And then slowly come, rise all the way back up. And then hands to heart center. And then you can go ahead and face me in a Tadasana. And then here we're just going to do a few more stretches to get into our upper back. So inhale the arms up. And then exhale, we're going to do an open side twist to the right. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, opening side twist to the left. So keep this going. And then play with your pelvis movement. You might find your pelvis, it feels good to let it swing a little more in each of these twists. You might find that it feels good to try to keep it facing forward. It just depends on where you're feeling this in your back. And this really gets us into the entire spine. Shoulders, middle, all the way to the low back. Inhaling up. Exhale, twist. And then finish whatever round you're on. And then come back to Tadasana. And last one, we'll just do some side stretches. So reaching your left hand up, right hand can come down by the side. Creating some length on that side, all the way down to the lower back. Hold here for 5 breaths. And then switch. Right arm comes up. Left hand comes to the left side of the body. Side stretch. Creating some space here. And 5 breaths. And then returning to your Tadasana. And then find the front of your mat. We'll do a half sun A to just get us back to a seat. And we'll finish this practice with a seated body scan. So inhale the arms overhead. Exhale to your fold. Inhale, half lift, spine strong, legs strong. And then exhale, let's just step down into a tabletop, and we can complete this with an inhale, cow. Exhale to our cat. And then let's find a seated posture. So again, I'm going to grab my bolster, setting our blocks back in their home, and then joining me in a comfortable posture that might be Sukhasana or some version of just a seated half lotus or cross-legged, whatever you prefer. And then let your eyes drop closed. And then find your breath. And then check back in with that posture that we set up at the beginning of class. And then beginning all the way at the crown of the head. Inhaling some release. Exhale, relax. And then we'll just work our way down the body, keeping in mind any intention that you had brought in from earlier in class. So we talked about physical back ailments, as well as any emotional or mental stresses that you might be holding in your back. So every time you inhale, bring in some release, some peace. Exhale, completely relax and let those go. And breathe into your entire face. Relax the space in between your eyebrows. Let the jaw completely relax, the tongue relax from the roof of the mouth. With an inhale, observe the neck and shoulders. With an exhale, relax, let them sink a little deeper down. And then moving into the upper back, the shoulder blade area. Inhale, peace, relaxation. Exhale, let that go. Working your way down the spine, the middle of your back, all the way down into your lower back and into your hips. Exhale, completely relax your entire back. And then moving down into your root, following all the way down into your upper legs, your knees, your calves, all the way to your feet. Inhale, peace. Exhale, relax, and sink deeper into your mat. If there's any body part or emotion or mental stagnation that's speaking to you right now, I'll give you a few moments and a few breaths to focus on relaxing just that. And then whenever you're ready, let's blink the eyes open. Let's take one last inhale with the arms up overhead. Exhale, pull the energy into the heart. And let's finish the class with an Om. Om. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace be with you. And I hope that you found some relief for any kind of back discomfort that you're feeling in this class today. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, Becca again. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't already, please subscribe. That'll keep you notified of my new weekly classes. And also, I'd love to hear about anything else that you need as you are going through this pregnancy journey. So feel free to fill up the comments. Let me know where you're struggling, where you're joyful and grateful right now, and how I can help you along this journey. All right, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.